Hey gang, I get a lot of requests for part two or part three or more of Joe Walsh's Life's Been Good, so I thought today we'd do the solo. Now, it's Joe Walsh is kind of like this. He doesn't hit a lot of notes, but he hits them really nicely, and his stuff has kind of tricky timing and bends and things like that. So we'll cover it all, note for note, at least to the best that I can do it, coming right up. Hey, as always, if you like this, click the like button, and if you haven't yet, subscribe for one or two of these every week. See you in just a second. All right, gang, let's go through this note for note. Before we do, I want to remind you to download the tab from the link in the description. Definitely going to make your life a lot easier. Second thing is, let's talk just a little bit about the sound. I'm using obviously a T-style guitar. I'm playing out of the neck pickup, and everything on here, my tone and my volume are dimed. That's at 10, folks. I've got also on my amp, I've got the gain set at around, clocked at around 7. So there's a moderate amount of gain, moderate to large amount of gain on this. And that's really to get the sustain. Now beyond that, there's a few pedals that I'm using. Number one, I've got a little bit of reverb on it, a hall style type of reverb. Number two, I've got really a tiny amount of delay. You can just hear that just a little bit. You don't want much at all, just a touch. And then I've got a little bit of, I would say a moderate amount of compression on this as well. Again, just to get that sustain. Now, this song basically is over 2 chords. Most of the chords are A, and there's a couple of times when it goes to a sort of a G tonality, and we'll see that. So what Joe Walsh plays is basically a series of licks that are mostly in A major pentatonic, and almost entirely they're played up here on the 14th fret. You'll see occasionally he'll switch down, or I don't know if he switched, but I switch. I switch down 2 frets to play a pattern from a G major pentatonic, and you'll see where that happens. All right, what I think makes sense is let's play the whole solo first, and I'll play it slowly, and then we'll go line by line. I'll tell you one thing. Don't soak your hands in palm olive before you do this. I mean, this is going to tear up your fingers if they're not totally dry and you have a little callus. Because the key to this one is real smooth bends, and there's lots of them. All right, so let's go. Here it is slowly. Here's the G. Back to A. Now he goes out of position. All right, and that's it. Okay, so let's go through it line by line. The pentatonic shape that we're going to use, basically A major pentatonic, just on the first 3 strings gets you done on this solo, okay? So over the A tonality, this is what we're going to play, basically this pattern right here. I'll play it slowly. Basically everything's coming out of that, okay? So that's basically starting at the 17th fret on the first string. And then when we switch to G tonality, we just switch down 2 frets. All right, so let's go. Here's the first lick. We're going to start out here, 3rd string. We're going to bend up. This is a country style lick, okay? We're going to bend up a whole step, hold it, and then play on the 16th fret, hold it on the 3rd, and then play 17 on the 2nd, 15 on the 1st. And now here's the key to this one. We're going to pre-bend and bring it down. So pre-bend a whole step and bring it down slowly and then end up on the 14th, okay? Play it nice and slowly so you can get it smooth. One more time. All right, now there is a tendency to play multiple strings at once like this. You don't want to do that. You don't want to have that sort of Angus Young sound. You want to have them distinct, so cut it off when you can. Okay, that's one of the two major licks. The second one is this. It's sort of like a reverse of that. It's playing on the third string and then first, second, and back to the third instead of first, second, first. Okay, or third, second, first. Here we go, whatever. Look, just get the lick. Don't listen to me. Here we go. Okay, that's it. One more time. So we're going to start out exactly the same way. Third string on the 16th fret, bend up a whole step. Now we're going to hit the first string on the 14th fret. And now the 17th on the second and 16th and bend up slowly. Give it a little vibrato at the end, not much. Okay, so those are the first two. Here's the third lick. Now you can play this in a number of different ways. You can bend up. That sounds good. The way I chose to do it was to play 17, 18, 17, 18 on the third. And then play 16 and bend up. Basically a whole, but you're doing it quick. Okay, so here's the third line. Very straightforward. Okay, back to the fourth line. Same as our first lick. Okay, that's exactly the same as the first lick that we learned. Now it comes to so that's the fourth line. The fifth line is in G, and so all we do is we shift down 2 and we play our inverse lick. Okay, so instead of being at 16, we're playing at 14. Bend that up a whole step. Then 12, 15 on the second, 12 on the first, 15 on the second, 14 on the third, and hold it. Bend it and hold it, sorry. Okay, back up to here and we're doing our reverse lick again. Okay, so all that's the same. So many of these licks, Joe Walsh just milks them all, has this sameness going through to create a neat little solo. So when he does anything different, it's really noticed. Here's the next thing, and it is different. Not much different, but basically we're playing a double stop on, but a frozen double stop, maybe arpeggiating a double stop, I don't know, on the 17th, first two strings, right? So we're playing this. So that's first string 17, second string 17. And then 14 on the first. And then on the third, we're going to pre-bend the 16 and bring that down. So we have to skip a string here. And end up on the 14th. So that, again, that pre-bend and bringing that down slowly, coming to there. Key to that one is a control again. Okay, the next line is very, very similar to the other one that we did with on this, but it's just 3 times, okay, instead of twice. Again, that's 17, 18, 17, 18, 17, 18, and that pre-bend on the 16 come down to the 14th. Okay, now we're at our first one again. And now the reverse. Okay, here's another different one. I'm on line 4 in the tab. This is the last part. Okay, this one's really cool. Okay, so we're starting out, basically it's an arpeggio here. We're playing 17 on the first, and then 14 on the first, and then we're playing 17 on the second, 16 on the third. So it's like this. Okay, and now we're going to bend up, bring it down, sort of like a double dip, and then we're into our regular lick again. Okay, here's that whole lick again. Okay, shift it down and play our regular lick, but now we're playing it down in G. All right, almost done. Now we're playing this little back and forth chromatic lick, but now we're playing it in G, so we're going 15-16. Okay, 15-16, 15-16, pre-bend on the 14th. Slide up from 12 to 14th to end that. All right. Now we do a couple of different things to end it up. Here's the penultimate, the second from last line. Okay, so we play this. Very simple. It's all on the first string. We're going 21, 20, 21, 20, 21, 20, and then 19 and 17. Little vibrato. Okay, and now finally an arpeggio here. This is okay, we're going to play 20, 21, pull off to 17. Now on the second string we're playing 17. Third string we'll play 19 and 18. Now there's two ways you can do it. I've written it out both ways with the tab. Depends on what's easier for your guitar. If you have one cutaway, I find this is easier. You're going to go to the 14th on the 4th, slide up to the 16th, and play 14th on the 3rd twice. If you have a double cutaway, which I do not here, you can play this. You can play so that's 19th on the 5th string, slide up to 21 and play 19th on the 4th string. And then you're staying more in a position, so it's easier to do that arpeggio. So you can do it with either one. It's going to sound fine. You have to jump a little bit if you want to do the one on the 14th. But then you get a little bit different tonality, a little bit different timbre on the strings. All right. Well, there you have it, gang. There's the solo to Joe Walsh's Life's Been Good. So many parts in that song. They're so cool. And solos, no exception. All right. Until next time, we will see you on down the road.